I was wondering too, what do you think of like slight alternatives to crates like an X pen or something like that? How do you feel about those?
Okay, so this is a good question, right? Confinement is confinement. I always say that, right? That means whether you're confining a dog in a crate, whether that means you're confining the dog in an X pen or like a kennel, or you're confining the dog in a room or whatever. The key is just ensuring that it is not something that they can get out of if they really tried to. My problem with X pens is technically they probably can jump out of them if they really wanted to, right? Yeah. My problem with gates is that clearly in the case of the client that I just described, who had the dog that broke through the gate, if they really tried to, they could knock that gate over, right? The problem with rooms is, one, if you, it's really easy to close a door almost all the way, but not have it fully latched. That shit happens, right? The other problem with rooms is that you still run the risk of, if the dog really wanted to, they could damage your molding, they could get into something, they could find, you know what I mean? Like, unless you've done a really, really incredible job of like puppy proofing your room, the possibility of there still being something the dog can get into if they really wanted to is still there. But they're better than nothing. Right? And if, let's just say you don't have a crate, right? Temporarily, I think a crate is a safer alternative. I am team crate. I am team get a good crate, right? Not just like in vet, here's the other thing too. Not to go in 27 different directions, but like, I'm assuming most people that have dogs will probably to some extent always have dogs. Right? And if we're going by the philosophy that I live by, which is I'm always going to crate my dogs. I have enough, here's what I always say. I have enough stress and anxiety in my life. I don't need to add on worrying about what my dogs are doing at home when I'm not there.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
like, that is just one extra layer of stress that I don't need to add to my life, right? So knowing you're always going to have dogs, knowing you're always going to crate your dogs, just invest in a fucking nice crate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody's like wants to buy these fucking bullshit wire crates and stuff that... I'm going to sound like a little bit like I'm contradicting here because I have wire crates downstairs I use my dogs in. But that's because I've extensively made sure that they're good in the crate, right? Where it's not a problem. But like at our facility, like we have really nice kennels. All of our clients that have dogs that have even a hint of kennel issues are all in really, heavy duty crates, right? Just invest in a nice crate, right? A nice crate's run anywhere from, let's say you buy a freaking, the two crates I generally recommend for people are the Roughland kennels or the Impact crates, right? And those, if you need to get the biggest sizes that they sell, range anywhere from like $450 or $500 to like $1,200, right? It's expensive, don't get me wrong, but those are crates that will last you forever. Getting back to my wire crates and where I'm not contradicting myself, I've replaced those wire crates multiple times now at this point. Mostly because, not because they've been damaged by my dogs, but they rusted and they get gross. Like when I clean them and hose them off and stuff, like they're just like, they're just not made, they're made cheaply. You know what I mean? And then tack on to that, if you have a dog that has really serious kennel anxiety issues, the amount of times I see dogs that fuck up their wire crates by bending the bars, by chewing at them, almost getting back to like dogs like almost dying, right? Because that's a real thing, and that's kind of what I'm trying to like push home here. The amount of clients I've had that, I had one tell me the other day, serious kennel anxiety issues, right? They were leaving the dog home in a wire crate. They checked their camera, and they literally saw the dog breaking out of the crate, and it got its head and neck wedged in between the door and the base of it, and the dog was like borderline choking. And they had to like literally leave their jobs and run home as absolutely fast as they can to go and make sure this dog didn't like choke to death. Right?
My God.
Those wire bars can bend and break, and then you have sharp, jagged things that if the dog really tries to break out of, they can impale themselves on. Like this is like a morbid, gruesome episode, like kind of, but like I'm saying all of this to tell you, like, this shit happens. It literally happens. So invest in not just a crate, but invest in a high quality crate your dog's not going to be able to hurt themselves in. Right? Which is why I go with, again, Roughland kennels or Impact kennels for that exact reason. It's just I think we as like a society could benefit from being a little bit more cautious sometimes.